It's the K-pop podcast with your hosts, DJ PeterLo and
Soupermatic. What's up, everybody?
So for our listeners who don't know, Soupermatic, how are you related to K-pop? What is K-pop in your life?
K-pop has been there for me since 2009, and these days I just love dancing and listening to K-pop.
So a K-pop b-boy, and I am DJ PeterLo, and I DJ K-pop. That's what's up. So let's kick it off. What do we have on the show for today?
We are going to be taking a look at the two hot new tracks that have been highly anticipated from none other than Big Bang.
Big Bang
made the full album.
All right, let's kick it off with the show intro. Here we go.
What's the thing you're obsessed with these days?
K-pop.
What is this, Korean pop music?
The Korean wave?
It's the K-wave, and it's washed over Asia for the last few years.
It's the best thing you've ever seen.
The girls' generation.
A wave of supergroups with infectious hooks.
I'm really impressed. I'm speechless, really.
It's a global phenomenon.
가슴같이 예쁜 넌 나의 princess 나를 보고 비웃는 게 너무 시크해 모두 날 보래 너 지금부터 잘 지켜봐
So Big Bang, they're back.
What's up, baby?
Baby. Hey, baby.
Yep.
And it's their song.
Are we allowed to say it on there or not?
You know, we don't have the explicit tag, so let's try to keep it as PG as possible. But the song name is Fxxk It.
We'll leave that up to your imagination, people.
Yeah, I think it's pretty obvious. I think, as other people have rightly pointed out, it seems to be another way that K-pop censors stuff. Mm-hmm. We reviewed Got-In's.
Oh, yeah.
You. Yes, similar song name. Mm-hmm. And this is their goodbye, so long, farewell, until we see you again song, or there are two songs for that.
Yep. First of two.
Right. So it's it. And what happens in this music video, Soupermatic?
Well, it's pretty much just Big Bang being a bunch of goofy guys and having fun, and as suggested by the title, literally just saying F it and just living life still young, wild, and free.
Young, wild, and free.
And I'm gonna get down. I love you. And I'm gonna get down. I love you. And I'm gonna get down. 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 Down. And I'm gonna get down. Down. Gonna wanna get down. Gonna wanna get down. Gonna wanna get down. And I'm gonna get down. I love you. And I'm gonna get down. I love you. And I'm gonna get down. I love you. Girl, I wanna get down. And I'm gonna get down. Down. And I'm gonna get down. Down. And I'm gonna get down. Down. Girl, I wanna get down.
Kicking it off for the audio for the song. You want me to start, Matt, or should I start?
By all means, go ahead and take the reins.
Okay, so for me, it starts slow. Mm-hmm. And I listened to this song a few times this past week, and I did not get into it right away.
Oh, really?
But I'm in it now.
Oh, so it grew on you.
Yeah. I think the main thing is this. Like, the TLDR for this song is that this is the song that's going to make you go, oh gosh, our listeners can't see it. But like, it's like you're
bobbing your head.
You're bobbing your head, but you're thrusting your torso like up and down. It's an up and down torso like hitting song, and
like
it's
body rocking.
Yeah, it's a body rocking song, and it's, as a DJ, this is the song that you play at the end of the set.
Right.
I can see that. It's like, okay, everybody, we had a great night. We're about to go home. Let's give it one last party rock, and we all go. But
it's like the send-off song.
Yeah, it's your send-off song. It's the one that everyone's like grooving to.
Yeah,
they're doing the body rock, but they're not going too hard. So that, I think, is what it is. And you've got people. The chorus, it's got this sort of like, I kind of want to say you're shouting. We had this with a few other Big Bang songs where
I kind of wanted to say bang bang bang, but I don't know if that's what you're thinking of.
Yeah, I think so. Big bang bang bang. Obviously a very different tempo and feeling to it, but also that same sort of like shouting in the chorus, and that's what you have in this. So I liked it. For me, it's a 4.
Oh wow!
I'm gonna. It's a nice send-off song for Big Bang.
Okay. Wow, very simple.
Yeah.
Got him. If that's not as in depth as most of your usual reviews, Peter.
Well, it starts. I mean, I can go deeper. It definitely starts off, really slow, and then it's the chorus, and as the chorus repeats, that's what you really rock into it. And I think when I make my DJ edits to the song, I'm not going to start it off as slow. I'm going to start with the hook first, so that when I'm DJing this live, people can it's like, okay, but guys, here's our last song of the night, and then it goes right into the hook, and then carry on from there.
Cool. I could totally see where you're coming from.
Yeah.
So I guess it's my turn now?
Yeah, go for it.
All right, so looking at the audio of this song, I've just taken to calling it F It.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to say the full title. First off, I was kind of caught off guard by the English intro from Taeyong. Like, was I the only one?
Yeah. No, I saw that too. I was like, oh, hey, homeboy's speaking English.
I was like, wait, is it going to start off with an entirely English verse first? And then, of course, GD follows up with the Korean. So I was like, okay, but still, Taeyong, dang.
Well, Taeyong, he did tour here in the United States, right? And actually, I was part of the group collaboration, which kind of helped market his event here in the Bay Area. The Bay Area.
Bay Area. But yeah, that English intro from Taeyong it hooked me in right away, and I was like, ooh, I like this. And then just writing the verses all the way until the hook, which itself is definitely catchy. It gets stuck in your head, like the members say, I want to get down, I love you. Like, it's just you hear it once and boom, it's there.
Yeah.
And usually for me, as is very well documented, that's one thing that definitely catches me with songs, is if the hook or a certain part of it is catchy.
Well, it's K-pop, right? And I will be totally honest with you, Soupermatic, and our listeners, that I am appealed by the lowest brow of music, and if it's catchy, I give it a thumbs up. I always give it Daebak if it's catchy. So
we're in that boat together.
Yeah.
I did look into some of the production behind the song because I was really curious. Because upon first listen, it was very reminiscent to me of the Chainsmokers, if you're familiar with them. Like, I felt like
which Chainsmokers song?
I was reminded kind
just
of
the
like
overall
either
production
Closer
value
or Roses, like with their more recent stuff on the radio that has blown them up. Like just that up tempo EDM style beat, that like dun dun dun, like the steady riff. But when I looked into it, I found out the beat was actually composed by G-Dragon, Teddy, and RT. So good job to them.
Oh, that's right. So, that's something I totally forgot to mention. Now that you mention it. RT, man, this is K-pop DJ producer. I've been following for a hell of a long time now.
No way.
And I can't believe I forgot to mention this, but like RT.
Shout out.
Yeah, I love this guy. And I was when I saw like his name on the teaser images, I was like, what?
Right?
RT is involved with Big Bang? So it's cool. I mean, for those of you who don't know, RT, he's, as I described him, he's a DJ in Korea, so he doesn't always do the same sort of DJing that I do as like a K-pop DJ here in the United States, but he does a lot of EDM DJing, and that's what he's known for there. And he's done a lot of great remixes of K-pop stuff, which is how I personally know him.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, credits to those three guys for coming up with an amazing beat. Like, it's not too much, I want to say. Like, not any added unnecessary fluff.
Yeah.
It's nice and simple. It draws you in. It's a nice addictive package. It doesn't sound overproduced. That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
Overproduced.
And that's a trick. And that's, fine line that a lot of, I think EDM acts that we see nowadays, like, they either go too hard or too light.
Yeah, they try to stuff a lot of stuff into there. And it's
or even change genres, right? But yeah, I agree with you, Matt.
Yep. And I looked further into the lyrics too, and overall it's pretty relatable. I mean, the story of the song is about a guy who's just feeling nervous about girls and relationships, but then by the time the first hook hits, he pretty much, as it says, is like, oh, F it, I love you, girl, I want to get down. So, I mean, who hasn't been in that situation?
Yeah, yeah. I heard that the original lyrics were... I think in Korean, or the original song title in Korean was what you know what it was. It was like, oh hell, whatever.
Oh yeah, something like that.
Something
just
like
basically
that.
Saying like, oh, forget everything.
Yeah.
So translating that to what I looked into as well, like I found out that some of the ideas behind Taehyung doing the English intro and then like writing the lyrics for what they were is actually pretty smart, because this song is actually charting very well on the U.S. iTunes chart. It's moving up there with like the current hits on mainstream radio. Stuff you hear like on 99.7 or 94.9. You look at the countdown and right there is Big Bang with this track.
Wait. Okay, hold up.
Well, it's not being played on mainstream radio, but it's charting on the iTunes is what I read. I didn't actually look at iTunes yet, but that's what I read about it.
Okay, we're looking it up right now at the time of this recording, and it is number... I can't believe this, Matt. Soupermatic.
I'm looking at it.
It's number 73.
Right.
On the U.S. iTunes charts.
On the U.S. charts.
It's going above The Weeknd, One Republic, Shawn Mendes, Sia, Chainsmokers, Bruno Mars. Well, I mean, to be fair, some of these other names that we're dropping, I think this is just at the time of the recording. These were songs that were previously popular, like, for example, Bruno Mars' Locked Out of Heaven is a pretty old song at this point, but it's still 93 on the U.S. charts.
Or maybe it's coming back because he also just dropped a new album.
Could be, yeah, throwback. Okay, but that's still pretty good.
Right? That's amazing.
So, Clear Channel, if you're listening, take note. This is stuff that people want, they're listening to.
Right.
Let's get this into rotation. Kpopcast listeners, if you listen to the radio, the best thing you can do as a K-pop fan and you want to get it charting and playing on the radio is just call in and make the request for Big Bang.
Right.
Honestly, that and as a former Clear Channel DJ and someone who has that perspective, that is the best way to do it. Just always request it of your local station.
Yep.
Get it charting and playing.
Perfect example of fan support helping the song and the artist.
Yeah. Okay. Enough of that digression.
Right.
Soupermatic. Back to the music.
Yeah. The last note that I just wanted to mention is how, like, in my opinion, looking at the song and listening to everything, I felt like each member really nailed all of their parts well.
Yeah.
And the way that they did their parts blend together with the overall package, like the rapping from GD and Top, I mean, they're always on top of their game on that, pun intended. Ha.
T.O.P.
Yep. And then like just Taehyung and Daesung belting out, or not necessarily belting out, but like just serenading everybody with like their smooth vocals, and then Seungri, when he does the bridge part of the song, he carries it really well. So as an overall score, I actually ended up giving this one pretty high, a 4.5, because even though it's very simple, it's like it was an instant favorite of mine from Big Bang. Like part of it might be the sentimentality because last album.
I mean, let's be honest here. The Goodbye of Big Bang is playing an overwhelming influence,
right,
in terms of how everyone is reacting to this song.
Yeah, I mean, it's been highly anticipated, but at the same time too, it's like, oh, last Goodbye. and the sort of brand equity that they have because they're Big Bang, right?
You know, they are one of those bands that can fart and people love it. So that's what it is.
Yep. All right. Well, and that was our audio score. So, Peter, let me go ahead and kick it back to you for the concept next.
Concept.
Concept.
That's with a K. but not 3K. So yeah, gosh. We don't want to have that alliteration going on in our show. Okay, so I think we've said this for a number of different K-pop music videos, but these guys, they've learned that in order to stand out as a boy group, every member of the group needs a different hairstyle.
Right.
So, Dasang's got this teal look. TOP makes me want to dye my hair pink. G-Dragon always doing the most ugly neon color.
Right.
But I mean, it separates each of the identities of the members. I'm going to go with, again, the same sort of perspective I put it for the audio score.
Okay. In
that it starts off really slow. I think it really feels that way. And I really don't get into it in terms of the concept until they're actually party rocking.
Ah, okay.
At the very end of the song, after the bridge, when, they're in the club, people got their hands up, it's the end of the night, and these guys, these titans of K-pop, are being lifted by their fans.
Symbolism.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm sure that was on purpose.
Definitely.
The Instagram filter was whatever yellow filter that they were going for. There was a lot of stuff blurred out. And I didn't care to look too much into it. I was just like, whatever. You know what? What stood out to me was them rocking out at the end. And I don't think Taeyong knows how to play guitar based off the way he's playing around with it. But that doesn't matter. They're Big Bang. I'll let it go. If these guys know how to have fun. Is it memorable in terms of concept? Not really. I think they've had more memorable concepts. And what I was hoping, I think, was more of a blue.
Like their song Blue.
Yeah, their song Blue, in terms of I think they could either go with that softer direction in terms of the concept, or they can go more harder with what GD and TOP did with Party Rock. And I think this was kind of in between those.
Okay.
And so it didn't completely sell it for me one way or the other. So I'm going to give it a 3.
A 3?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not bad, but I think production value is there, but it's not memorable against Big Bang's other stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
But good job on the hair colors, guys.
for sure.
Oh, one last thing.
Yes.
Why the hell is TOP carrying a slingshot everywhere?
I'll probably get into that with my review.
Okay, go ahead. Soupermatic.
The funny thing is, I didn't even realize that until you just pointed it out.
Well, tell me, why do you think he has a slingshot?
All right, so it actually took me quite a few watches to really get everything going on, because I'm the kind of person where when we're reviewing an MV for a song, I want to make sure I notice things that are worth noticing, or at least try to get the overall idea, for pretty much what we're looking at, which is the concept. And for me, the first thing I noticed is how it's pretty colorful and vibrant. It, as far as the color schemes and aesthetics, it kind of gave me a low-key Bang 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 feel, but not in terms of how hard they're going, because they're definitely not going hard here. But it's just as I said, the color scheme of it. I felt like it was probably could easily be set in the 90s or maybe more modern day, but the guys are just going retro.
Retro is always in.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, you look at it everywhere. Video games, K-pop, retro is always cool.
Yeah.
Old school is cool.
Yeah.
To give our listeners an idea, if they happened to have not seen the MV yet, it starts off with the guys just hanging out in what I'm guessing is a hotel room or somewhere. It looks like almost a living room-esque setting. They're just goofing around. Pretty much they're being a bunch of guys. And they're watching scandalous videos. They're just doing different things. They're having some drinks. Just basically having fun. Just being a bunch of boys. Maybe not even guys. Just being a bunch of boys is probably a better way to put it.
And that seems to work on the K-pop market, right? I think we look at GOT7 and all the Boys Charm sort of stuff. And we see this with, BTS, I feel like has done something similar.
Yeah, they've done stuff like that too.
Boys knocking around.
Yep.
And does that work on teenage girls?
I'm pretty sure it does.
I guess that's just a winning formula they're going with. I mean, they're all riding on a bike together at one point. It's
I was going to get to that.
dude, Matt, I mean, straight man to straight man. I mean, do a bunch of straight guys all get on a bike together. That's not something that I would see a bunch of bros doing together.
I'm not going to pass judgment, but
Okay.
we'll leave the answer unknown.
Okay. But if hey, shout out to our listeners. If you got if boys playing together jives with you as ladies, let us know.
Hey, different strokes for different folks.
Yeah.
From what I can remember, though, I mean, I found it kind of interesting from that beginning because, like, what they're doing, which is just goofing off, it's an interesting contrast, or maybe it's a compliment. I'm still not really sure. Because we talked about Taeyong opening the song in English, and his lyrics are something like, "I don't want to go too fast. Like I want, because I know nothing ever lasts." So it's kind of like him and Big Bang are basically they're like, we may not necessarily be young anymore, but we're gonna keep on acting young while we can. Like
while they can get away with it.
Mm-hmm.
It's the end of their youth, basically.
Yeah. I mean, heck, you think about it, 10 years together, we've seen these guys grow up before our eyes.
Yeah. But still, I don't think that's any reason to carry a slingshot into a club. T.O.P.
Oh.
I'm looking at you, boy. He's launching it in the middle of a club. You're gonna hurt someone.
I was gonna say that's maybe just part of T.O.P.'s interpretation of just being young and stupid. Just different.
It's time for these guys to grow up.
Probably.
Yeah.
But at the same time, what's wrong with a little fun every now and then?
They're at the age where I think they can grow up, and they can do it too. Like if there's anyone who can do a more mature male K-pop group, it's Big Bang.
Well, for sure.
And I want to see that 2 years from now when they come back.
Yeah, I would like to see that too. At the end of the video, as you mentioned, though, I do like the setting where they end up at the club, and in typical Big Bang fashion, they just join a bunch of people and they're just partying together, having a fun time. It doesn't go as hard as some of their other stuff that they've done, like Bang Bang Bang, or like their collabs and solo stuff like Good Boy or Hi Hi.
Mm-hmm.
But still, it's kind of nice. And as you said earlier, them being like lifted by their fans, I felt like it was pretty symbolic and a nice gesture. Like, hey, VIPs, guess what? We're still here with you, and we're still gonna have fun. So I kind of like that, or at least that's the way I interpreted.
Well,
I don't know
if
everyone
I
else.
think this is like where you have like the fade out.
Right.
You're not gonna still have fun. This is just how you're gonna remember it.
Like basking the memories.
Sure.
Thank
Yeah,
you for the
yeah,
memories.
yeah.
There you go. Overall, I felt like the message of the song was pretty clear, which is, well, I mean, if the title didn't suggest enough of it, it's just like, just sometimes you just got to forget everything and just go ahead and be young, wild, and free. Even if you aren't necessarily that young kid anymore, it's important to just remember the fun times in life and have those good memories.
Yeah. Don't sweat it. Just have it. Go for it. Have fun.
Yep. And I did also notice, like, it had really good production value, but at the same time, it was a little simple for my taste as well. Even though I could kind of, like, feel and understand what they're doing, which is why my score for the concept actually was I was teetering on, like, a 3.9, but I ended up just giving it a solid 4.
That high?
Yeah. I would have given it higher if they probably did more, but at the same time, I guess I'm feeling it because of, like, the whole overall theme and the idea.
Okay. I have my reservations, but okay, that's cool. That's cool. I mean, look, if you look at the fan reactions to this music video, everyone is the same beat that you're feeling, right? And for me, it's like it felt rushed. They had to pull it together. I mean, it has the usual level YG polish, but still, to me, it felt a little rushed.
I can understand that.
Yeah. Okay, Daebak or not, Soupermatic.
Daebak.
Daebak.
Yep.
All right, and I shall give it Daebak.
Nice.
Thank you. Big Bang.
Bang, bang, bang. Even though that was their last promotional cycle.
I'm singing like you. 파란 눈물에 파란 슬픔에 길을 새겨와줘. 뜬구름에 날려보낸 사랑. I'm singing like you. 파란 눈물에 파란 슬픔에 길을 새겨와줘. 뜬구름에 날려보낸 사랑.
Okay, what do we have up next? Soupermatic.
We are taking a look at Big Bang's other track, which is very appropriately titled The Last Dance.
Last Dance. Will you have this last dance?
Hey, if it's Big Bang, I mean, I may be a straight male guy, but I'm not going to deny a last dance with Big Bang.
Even if it's a ballad.
Yep.
Okay, so what do we think of this song? Well, maybe backing up. What happens in this music video, Soupermatic?
It's a more simple music video as opposed to some of their other ballads that they've done before. It's just each of the guys pretty much reminiscing and, as suggested by the title, just singing out what I feel is like a love letter to the fans.
Is that what it is?
That's what I felt like it was.
Okay. So, I guess I'll start.
Sure.
For audio. There's a rule that I think we've outlined. If you've been following us for a while now, you know that there's a rule that DJ PeterLo always hates. Or if it's in a song, by principle, he has to hate it. And that's the stupid half step, like, raise at the end of a song where they like raise the key of a song to like a half step.
Those key changes.
It's like at the it's after the bridge where they go up. It's like it's such cringe-worthy, listening. So I can't like this song.
Aww.
And if anyone's gonna do a ballad for me to like, it's usually Big Bang. And they just let me down.
Really?
I was expecting a Big Bang. And all I got was a whimper.
Oh, harsh.
Yeah, and that's what this was. I was not liking the song at all. I think Big Bang has had a lot of other really good ballads, a lot of very sentimental songs. Earlier we mentioned Blue. Bad Boy is another good one. Last Farewell. Yeah, their original. Yeah. Their original Goodbye Last Farewell was a good one. That was faster, but I mean that's still the same mood. And Love Song.
That's right, Love Song.
And Love Song I think is an example or a template they should have followed. I think it would still be relevant today. This one it just feels like they're trying too hard.
Oh, really?
To say goodbye.
Aw.
Yeah. I don't know if you can hear that, but that was our cat saying, yeah, it's too hard. They're trying too hard. I mean, they've got the full-on symphony in the song, but I just couldn't listen to it.
Aw. Does that mean you haven't listened to it all the way through?
Oh, of course. I listened to that stupid ass like keychain. Yeah, which made me want to just every time I listened to it, I'd be listening to this song at work, and like every time that happened, I just want to pick up my phone and like throw it to a wall. Like no.
Oh man, really?
So I think it just made it so unbearable for me, and I love Big Bang. I think they can do a lot of the sentimental songs and feels well, but this wasn't it.
Oh dang.
Yeah, so
I'm caught off guard from that.
Yeah, so audio score from DJ PeterLo.
Here it comes.
It's a 2.
Yeah, 2. Okay. Dang. That's harsh, but not as harsh as I was expecting. I honestly was expecting to hear you say like a 1 or maybe even a 0.5.
No. When it gets to that territory, that's when I start saying like the production actually made mistakes, and there's nothing wrong in terms of the actual production side in terms of like making sure your compressors and all it's harmonious and all that sort of stuff. That's fine, but I think the composition I think was pretty blasé. I guess not blasé. It was pretty cliche. It was very cliche.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Any last notes, or should I go ahead and take
that's it for me for audio on this one. I mean, dear God, like, do not ever do another one of these like half-step key changes at the end of the song. That's like a recipe for disaster. It's like, okay, I can't take this song seriously anymore because they follow this stupid ass formula every time. So
a note to all the K-pop acts out there: if you care enough about PeterLo's review and opinion of your song, but don't include key changes.
Yeah, but I'm not every K-pop fan. Obviously, we've got a lot of K-pop fans who do like it. I am just, one voice who feels this way.
And that's fair. Personal preference, personal rule.
Yeah.
Very fair. As we said earlier, again, different strokes for different folks. You're not ever going to like key changes.
Okay. Supermatic. Well, I think there have been key changes that I have liked.
Oh, really?
But just not in the end of a ballad.
Okay, that's fair.
Or a pop song in that where it raises a half step. I think you can have, for example, over the course of a DJ set, you can have, just the very nature of going from song to song, you have to have key changes for your mix.
True.
But for the mix as a whole, you want to make sure it follows, the Camelot wheel of mixing, which is like a way to make you harmoniously mix from song to song. That's a good way to do it.
Okay. Camelot, interesting. Never heard that term.
Yeah, man, I can totally geek out about that, but I think our listeners will probably,
they would tune out.
over their eyes if they, okay. Right. Go ahead. Supermatic, what did you think of the audio?
So this is actually kind of interesting for me because you and I are clearly on opposite ends of the spectrum here.
Well, and this is what I like about at least, but what we can offer our listeners is that we can offer dissenting opinions from each other, and we open the door for you, our listeners. If you disagree with us, by all means, we want to hear it and let us know, and we'll spotlight your comments next episode.
Yeah, definitely. Talk to us, interact with us, be part of the show.
Okay. All right, Supermatic.
All right, so I felt from the start that it was pretty atypical of Big Bang. I mean, we mentioned some of their other ballad/love songs earlier. Love song. It was definitely not as memorable, I will agree with you on that point, as their other ballads that they've done.
Yeah.
But it's still, it did enough for me to like it, such as when they get to the chorus. I actually found it pretty cool how the backing beat stops and it's only instruments that are backing Seungri as he sings the chorus. I admired that.
I think I was just cringing the entire time. I couldn't bear to listen for those finer details, but yeah, I'm glad you pointed that out.
Yeah. I didn't notice that upon first listen either. I listened as I was watching the MV as well, and I noticed that on probably my fifth or sixth listen. I was like, wait a minute, the beat's gone. It's just instruments. Oh, nice. And one thing I definitely took notice of right away in this song as I was listening through all of it, there's no rapping. It's all just purely singing.
Yeah. Well, it's hard to have that in a ballad. Right?
Well, yeah, but even with K-pop, as we've come to expect, even with balladish songs, there's kind of
oh, sure.
Yeah, not necessarily fully rapping, but kind of faster flowing verses. At least one, at least from someone.
Sure.
And this one, even with T.O.P. and we've known that G.D. can sing, but the way that T.O.P. sings is it kind of caught me off guard.
Yeah, I was showing this song to Nurse Joyce earlier, and she was like, T.O.P. can sing?
Right?
Well, we knew that. We knew that. We've heard him sing before, but still, this is one of those instances where his voice was spotlighted more.
Yeah. I'm not sure. I can't speak for every listener/watcher of the... Well, actually, we're doing audio right now. So at least for every listener of the song. But for me, just listening to this over and over, I felt like I could probably see or feel the emotion with which all five guys are singing. Because, as we said, Last Dance is their goodbye, but not forever goodbye to their fans.
Right.
And as I alluded to earlier, it feels like it was a love letter to their fans, the VIPs who've been with them for all 10 years, their career. I looked at the lyrics of this one too, and one such lyric is something as where they just say repeatedly, "Oh, it won't be long. Don't worry, it won't be long." I feel like
just
they're kind of hinting. I feel like they're kind of hinting at all of them having to do the mandatory military enlistment. So
yeah. But they renew their contracts, right? They're all still signed, so they're coming back.
It's not a goodbye forever. Goodbye
it's
for
just
now.
the end, the last song in the party.
Yeah. It'll be a long moment that we won't see Big Bang for a while, but they'll
until
come
the next
back
party,
eventually, right? Yeah. One thing that definitely caught me right from the first listen, and it kept on resonating with me the more and more I listened to the song, is the last 30 seconds where Top is taking us home. He's singing his verse. And he's backed by the fan screams, the screams of the VIPs, which is from a concert or something. And it was pretty much all but and a confirmation that this is their last dance with the fans, but they do promise to come back. And it's just, I don't know, listening to it, I admittedly felt at least one of my heartstrings being tugged on with that last part.
Really?
Yeah. I did end up giving the audio score an overall of 4. I didn't give it as high, but the reason why I still gave it a 4 is because it one thing for me that I'm a sucker for, especially with ballads, is if I can feel the emotion in the way you sing and if like the lyrics resonate with me. So they hit both marks here. Big Bang did, so that's why I gave them a 4.
Well, I'm glad you were touched by this song because I clearly wasn't. But if I were you, in the sense that I was emotionally touched by this song, then yes, I would also rate it appropriately.
Yeah.
However, I was not. To me, it was just too tried, too cliche.
Okay.
And I'm sure it was as genuine as K-pop could deliver, but they have done better.
And there goes all the VIPs with each shot that PeterLo declares.
It gets me in trouble.
It's okay. We need the diversity in opinions.
Yeah, and as a K-pop DJ, I hella play Big Bang. I love them. I love these guys, and I love each of these members. Like, it's you can still be a fan and critique your band. You can say like, "Hey, I love what you guys are doing," but this time, you didn't hit the mark.
Yeah, definitely. Like, just as a last note for me, I'm in the same boat with you in terms of how, even though I myself do really like this song and I felt it appropriate, in my opinion, they definitely did have better ballads and love songs. Like, such as the ones we named earlier.
Yeah, and just because it's their last song for the time being, or until we foreseeable future, that doesn't mean you should. It is in it of itself objectively better.
Yeah.
So on that basis, I'm not rating it higher.
Yeah. Like we both alluded to earlier, a big part of it is probably just that whole sentimentality factor.
Yeah, I mean, it's like goodbye, my boyfriend. You're studying abroad, and
right.
Yeah.
All right. So
concept.
Shall I go ahead and kick that right back to you?
Sure. Thanks, Supermatic. I was watching this music video first on my iPhone. And throughout it, I was like, wait, do I have it in the right portrait landscape?
Right.
And then as like the scenes kept going like sideways and upside down, I just kept turning my phone around to try to make sure the horizon was parallel with the horizon in real life, because I was starting to get nauseous.
Oh, dang.
And they put a lot of money, or at least it feels like they put a lot of money into getting all these different sets and concepts. And it's like, why don't you put this into Fxxk It? Right? Because I think that's where they could have got a better bang for their buck. A bigger bang for their buck.
All the puns. All the puns.
So I think they threw it. Like, this was the wrong place to spend it. And the colors just added to the nausea. Like, each, as they went from scene to scene, different color. And it was like, why can't you keep it straight? It was trying way too hard. I think, to be artsy with the rotation.
Yeah.
I think there were a couple moments where I think it would have been cool and innovative, where just following like art composition, like you want to make sure you have a good subject and framing balance and whatnot within a shot. And in a couple places, it felt like watching it from an iPhone, it made sense to do it portrait style. In other words, like upright and not sideways. And there were a few instances where like, oh, hey, that actually looks pretty good in a portrait orientation. But as it was presented in a landscape always, it made it frankly hard to watch.
So it kind of felt like not a good kind of like a acid trip roller coaster ride.
No, not a very bad trip on this one.
Would it have made a major difference for you if they did not have the shifting going upside down?
I think so.
Okay.
I really do think so. Yes, absolutely. That would have totally changed my concept score for the song.
Okay.
But the boys are looking ghost-like with, I think, the sad, somber makeup style. It's like they had the life sucked out of them from right. So it's a 2.
Oh, dang! Another low score. Oof.
their album, the fuller part of their album, was just way better. I mean, they've had a lot more hits off of the 2015, version of the album.
Okay.
And they just didn't deliver here.
So you feel like you got more content from 4 separate albums instead of this one full album with these 3 new tracks?
I really do.
Okay.
I think there was a lot more thought and effort, as well as production value, put into their other songs. Okay. That we saw from the previous years. And this one, I think these last 2, it was like, shit. We're about to break up. Let's give our fans something. And they just, put out this very half-ass cliche, piece of work.
So for you, it felt like a phoned-in effort on both accounts.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it really did. As a business model, I think it worked, though.
Fair. Sometimes you don't have to do too much to get your K-pop fan base.
There was a bar.
Yep.
Right, in terms of the production value that they had to bring in both the audio production as well as the visual video production, right? And they met it. I think, if I gave it anything less than a 2, it means they didn't. But they did. They met it. It was fine. It was in my opinion, it was the minimum that they could deliver for their fans.
Okay.
So.
All right. So
concept Soupermatic. Sorry.
No problem.
Passing the torch your way.
Wanted to make sure you got whatever it is you wanted to say out there. So for me, I also noticed right away from the first watch just the constant shifting color tones, like as you've said before, like in your words, the different Instagram filters all coming in and switching out back and forth.
Well, it's like a kaleidoscope, it's like you go from each of the different ones. So. And
I can actually kind of feel, I also feel you on the whole point of like the rotating like camera angle, like everything going upside down and right side up.
Trying way too hard to be artsy.
Like I actually kind of did the same thing that you did because I first watched both of these on my phone, so I was like all turning my head, turning my phone, like wait, am I watching it wrong? It wasn't until I watched these for further review on my computer that I realized, oh, okay, now it like actually kind of makes sense, and I'm not as my head doesn't hurt as much. Yeah, disoriented. There you go. I mean, I could kind of I can respect what they were trying to do with that. It's like maybe just I'm not sure if it was purposely for like the theme of what they were going for, like maybe just providing that whole like what's the word I'm looking for, like basically painting the picture of it being like, oh well, this is our last dance, we're not sure how we feel, like things are spinning, like I felt like maybe that might be what they were going for. But I'm with you on the boat where they could have found a better way to do it.
Exactly.
A better way to do it.
Yeah. I think that's a worthy effort to make, but it just failed in delivery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that part felt, as you said, it felt a little empty to me on that point. But one thing I noticed that actually caught my attention when I noticed it, and I actually kind of admire at the same time it made me feel a little eerie, is there's like these scenes of these seemingly, I call them the faceless civilians, because you can see like all these extras walking back and forth, but they're like blurred out, their shadows, you don't see their faces.
Are they the guys in the white outfits from 282's, I mean Blackpink's Stay With Me?
It's possible considering this is all YG fam.
Yeah.
But I mean, they just changed clothes and now they're garbed in all black, or like maybe they're
extras. Let's move over to this set over here,
right? Or maybe they're remnants from My Chemical Romance's The Black Parade. Oh, I don't know, bad jokes now. But back to the point. Pointing out these faceless civilians, what I noticed is that each of the members, or at least like maybe I think 3 of them, which was like G-Dragon, Seungri, and maybe Top Earlier, I'm not sure. But it seems like each of them was in these different open public spots, and these civilians are just walking past them, like back and forth. And particularly, there's one scene where they're donned in all black, these people, these extras. And I noticed that they look to be wearing like almost those funeral-style black veils over their faces. So I was like, guys, Big Bang's not dying; they're just going away for a little bit. Yeah, exactly. Like for our listeners who can't see, we're looking at the part in the MV right now.
And PSA, do not wear a plastic bag over your head. At one point, there's a girl wearing. Like, no. I mean, that's how you suffocate,
right,
boys and girls. So PSA, Don't wear plastic bags over your
Stay
head.
safe.
Yeah, please stay safe.
Right? Yeah, it's just, it made me wonder, is like, what exactly are they going for here? Was that Big Bang's idea? Was that YG's idea? Was that the production team's idea? Because
it was a shit. We need something artsy fartsy.
right?
Let's do this to symbolize this without putting a ton of thought into it.
Yeah, I mean, it felt, well, as I said, it felt a little eerie to me because it was like, well, why are you treating this as if Big Bang's dying? They're not dying. They're just going away for a little while.
Yeah.
But the other part of it that I did like, and I noticed too, is that as the video goes on and all these civilians are walking past the Big Bang members, it gets faster and faster. Like, they speed up, and all of a sudden they're kind of like almost going from this mass of civilians walking to slowly dwindling in numbers. Like, they're slowly disappearing, leaving each of the Big Bang members by themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So that felt pretty symbolic to me. Going to the ending part of the video, the civilians, all of a sudden they stop and they start walking in reverse, almost as if like Big Bang's like, wait, nope, don't go away just yet, because we're not going away. We'll come back eventually. Other than that, like I have to shout out that the production value definitely does feel like it's there. I mean, these are pretty interesting sets that each of the members are on, and then combined with like the shifting camera angles and the tones, it definitely has that production value. But as we both have said, could have been better.
Yeah.
But I will admit, one part of the video that stays with me, and it always gets me so far every time I watch it, is again with the audio, the last 30 seconds, because Top, he's singing his part, and then we actually see Top crying and tearing up as he's singing the last 30 seconds of the song.
Has he ever done that before?
I don't know. I'm trying to remember. Like, I want to say that we've seen the guys, like, just of Big Bang in general, get emotional towards the end of MVs, but I don't know if we've ever seen Top cry in an MV.
Maybe, I mean, part of me wants to say it's fan service.
True.
It's like, okay, let's give the girls what they want.
But I mean, it is hard to just deny at least like the emotional factor that's there with him, like tearing up with the fans in the background, like their fan screens, the VIPs, because that's kind of like, you know, you guys are what made this journey all worth it, and we're glad that you've been here with us for these last 10 years, and we know that you'll still be with us waiting for us to come back.
Yeah.
So the concept, I actually ended up giving also a solid 4, because even though it was
I'm just shaking my head, guys. Like you can't always see our visual reactions or the way we dance when we talk about the audio. But I mean, like I was following you, Matt, everything you're saying, and then you like give it a 4. I'm like, no,
yeah,
no,
yeah. I'm sorry. Like I can't deny the just the production value and like the ideas and just everything that they put into it. But the funny thing is, I couldn't see myself giving it anything higher than a 4. So.
Well, you're supposed to give it what it's worth.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. As I've been saying, I felt like because this is that, as the title of the song suggests, their last dance, they probably could have given at least just a little bit more effort, because, you know, like at their Big Bang, go out with a bang instead of being on the softer side.
It was a whimper.
Yeah. I mean, it's good to be emotional and have that connection with your fans, but at the same time, do it big. Do it big. Do it with a bang. Big bang.
Bang, bang, bang. What's the antithesis of Big Bang?
Small poof.
I guess. That's what this was. I mean, really. I'm sorry.
Reaching at straws here.
Yeah.
So,
Daebak or not?
Yeah. Me first?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. I still ended up giving it a Daebak.
Give it a Daebak?
Yes.
Obviously, what wasn't clear by now, the way I feel about this last dance, it was not Daebak.
Okay.
Like, don't waste your time with this. It was the song to listen to.
Okay.
And it's the song I'm going to play.
For sure.
And it's how I'm going to remember them, as that should have been their last dance. Really.
So if you had it your way, they wouldn't have done 2 drops. It would have just been one single.
Which would have been higher polished, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that, or put more money and resources into the second one, but like, I don't think they could, given their time constraint, right? So
yeah, like TLP's going off for his enlistment in February.
Yeah.
I wonder how promotional cycles are going to be with that.
We shall see.
Only time will tell. All the VIPs out there are just general fans. Do you have any thoughts? disagree or agree with us.
Oh, I'm sure they disagree with whatever it is that I'm saying about Big Bang.
Yeah.
And again, I don't, forgive me if I'm being repetitive, but I love Big Bang. But they just didn't deliver for this last song, for Last Dance. And Fxxk It could have been better. It's almost 2017.
Yeah.
And we've got our year-end awards here. It's the, I think we're calling it the Kpopcast Daebak Awards of 2016. Last episode, we discussed, or I think it was early beginning of January. Not January.
December.
At the beginning of December, we kicked off this poll.
Yeah.
And we said, hey, what award categories would not make it in the Amama Awards, and we got your guys' feedback. So who's currently winning in the awards? Again, these polls close December 31st at 11:59 Pacific time. We want to know who's the winner for each category. So who, for the loudest outfit of 2016, Soupermatic, who's winning? Who's in the lead?
Whoop, whoop, whoop. NCT 127 with Fire Truck.
At 33.3% of the vote.
Yep.
For most finest wonderful treasure find, or WTF, it looks like we're tied for Kokosari Exquisite and Sistar's One More Day.
Oh, interesting.
Get away with murder. Most pathetic Aegyo.
Currently in the lead by a landslide is AOA
100%.
Cream with I'm Jelly Baby.
100%. I guess that is pretty pathetic Aegyo.
Right.
I mean, if you're going to take revenge on a person, don't do it like that. Most fantastic elastic English lyrics.
Chocolate Cheeks and Chocolate Wings from
by a
Blood,
large
Sweat,
margin.
Tears. BTS.
87% of the vote. Best scene steal and extra.
It looks like we have a tie, Peter.
Oh yeah, that's the EXO Dancing King Pink Bear guy.
MVP and the high heel sassy guy from Brave Girls Dancing in Heels.
Yeah, that guy was so sassy from Brave Girls' high heels. Okay, most nudge nudge wink wink S&M.
Looks like we've got Monster X with All In.
Who's voting for this?
Right?
Who's voting for this? I could have sworn like Stella or Sting would have been higher, but whatever. You
or
guys.
at least IOI, even with What a Man.
Yeah, okay. Best JYP Whisper. We've also got another tie. IOI is very, very, very. And Triple T is Born to Be Wild.
Ooh.
And most turns out biggest banger
of 2016. Right now in the lead, BTS is Fire.
Fire. No surprises there.
You're right.
Okay. And lastly, most Daebak. It's a tie.
Oh.
The most contentious vote right now, actually, is between Blackpink's Whistle,
ooh,
like a missile, bomb bomb, and Chocolate Cheeks, Chocolate Wings. BTS and their song Blood, Sweat, and Tears. So if you want to change up the vote, it's not too late, guys. Don't miss out.
You still have over 2 weeks.
Don't get voter's remorse. Just head on over to kpopcast.net and click on the Kpopcast Daebak Awards 2016 and cast your vote and let us know.
Yep. Just another way that you, our listeners, can be part of the show and actually influence something that we will cover later on.
Okay, so I think that's it for this episode of Kpopcast. I'm DJ PeterLo. You can catch me at DJ PeterLo. DJ PeterLo. I was trying to do it like in the SNSD, like Genie.
Oh yeah,
like
DJ, put it back on.
Yeah, that's the idea. Okay, so that's where you can catch me, Soupermatic. Where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram or Twitter, Soupermatic. That's SOUP.
Yeah,
Soupermatic.
And I'm gonna be DJing at I think it's SAC Anime Winter. I was requested to play K-pop. So holla SAC Anime fans, if you're gonna be there, say hello. And I'll play your K-pop. I'll be your DJ.
K-pop coming down to Sacktown.
Yeah, I'll put it back on.
Right?
Okay. That's it, everybody. Thank you for tuning in.
Yeah. Right. Take care.
Bye-bye.